FOMC meeting minutes just came out a little while ago, and they showed that the Fed is still scared about inflation. So the inflation that they caused, they provided for us, the printing of currency going crazy with the currency printers go burr. Well, they're worried about it still. Well, of course. The mess you guys created, the arson and the firefighter, the Federal Reserve, the biggest evil on earth is the wealth gap perpetuated by the central banks. And again, this is why it's important to you. This is why we rail on this all the time, because money is a part of every single person's life at all times, all day long, whether you're awake, whether you're sleeping, doesn't matter what you're doing. Money is a part of your life, and it's really one of the simplest forms of communication that people have back and forth to each other, to communicate price discovery, communicate value to each other, to communicate the worth of what someone's doing or not, or the just like I said, the products and services that are being created, the time and energy being spent. So this is why this is so important. This is why this affects everyone, and yet so few people want to look into really what's going on. They want to put their head into the sand, which always blown me away, instead of facing the problem head on, which we all have our areas of life, whether it's health, financial, relationships, your business, your job, whatever. Like, you just want to put your head in the sand sometimes. And I understand that. I get that. However, money is something that's so important that everyone talks about at every dinner table, talking about what you're making and what Billy's making, what John's making, and what Sally's making. And we just, for some reason, want to put our head in the sand, though, and not talk about the real effects of what's happening. When a person can't just save more than they spend and get ahead in life, and anyone at any job, whether it's McDonald's or a doctor, should be able to do that and get ahead. In an inflationary fiat legacy monetary system that we have, the legacy system that we're using right now, this is impossible because the dollar is a liability. The dollar is not an asset. So fiat currencies we are told by Rockefeller's General Education Board, public schooling, government-run schools for the last 100 years, we're told that the dollar is an asset, that the Federal Reserve is good, and that we should be workers and not thinkers. Again, this is why we have so many problems. People thinking that currency or money comes from the government. Money comes from value creation. It comes from people exchanging their time and energy, creating goods and services. That's it. Government has nothing to do with the creation of money, other than they've stolen that issuance from us, from the people, and taken it on themselves. And the people have let them, which goes right into point number 2, which again we've talked about before, which is rights come from God or above, as our founding documents here in America eloquently put. Governments are not there creating our rights. The king, the queen, the despot, the tyrant, they don't create rights for us and uphold our and give us those. They uphold their rights. The governments are there at the consent of the governed to uphold the rights given by a higher authority. And that's what governments can't stand. They can't stand that there are people out there that believe that they are not the end all be all, that there's something above all of them. And that's what the Federal Reserve, people like this, Jerome Powell, Christine Lagarde, Augustus Carstens, and Janet Yellen, they can't stand that. Ben Bernanke, they can't stand that you don't think that they are the end all be all. These people are no ones. They are nobodies at the end of the day. And the fact that people will sit there and literally dissect Bitcoin, every nook and cranny, but yet ask no questions about the dollar and about fiat, because, well, it's been there the whole time. And yet it's been breaking the entire time. 99% of the purchasing power has been lost over the last 110 years. Yet no one questions it still. Everyone's like, oh, it just is what it is. Oh, whoop-de-doo. This is what we've been with our whole entire life. The entire system's imploding, collapsing, and sinking under the wave like the Titanic. But, hey, it's been my life. So why question it? Why question why I can't get ahead in life? I'm just going to go try to demand a higher wage at McDonald's. I'm going to go and try to get 3 jobs. I'm going to go do something that's unethical or immoral or outside my beliefs in order to make more currency or to keep my job or whatever it might be. I might go put something on my body just to keep my job, because almighty dollar, because people are scared and worried that they're not going to have dollars to pay for the inflationary rising costs that are all around them. That is only possible in an inflationary monetary system, a fiat-based monetary system. And newsflash, every single one of the fiat currencies humans have ever tried in human history have all gone to zero. Every single one, complete failure rate, 100% complete failure rate. That's why we're talking about this, because it is the most important. And that means your time, your energy, completely wasted, gone. You poor and at the mercy of the government, a serf doing what the government wants at all times. That's the end game. This is the end game when I was a child that I foresaw reading history and understanding monetary policy and monetary history, and going through this, and then investing on my own and building businesses on my own, being in professional hockey, seeing the people suckling at the teat, if you will, and being so repulsed and so disgusted and thinking, man, I'm not of this world. I am not. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong. And then as I got older, I realized, oh, I think it might be opposite. And I just wasn't going to be an NPC. I just wasn't going to be the company guy. I wasn't going to be I'm going to ask questions. I fought with teachers, fought with professors. I'm going to be the person who is asking why. You better have a damn good answer as to why we're doing this. Because I'm a free man. You're a free man. You're a free woman. I don't answer to anyone but him. The only person I answer to. I don't answer to government. I don't answer to kings, despots, tyrants. I don't bend a knee to anyone but him upstairs. And that is what sends a shiver down government spines. That is the difference with America. That was the founding documents. And here we have the government in bed with central banks. They are trying to collapse everything because they want the ultimate power, which is collapsing the money, collapsing the middle class, because the middle class is the beacon of any republic, of any true wealthy and sovereign country. And when you don't have wealth in the middle class, and you don't have people that are able to save, then they have no say. They're dependent on government, and they're going to do whatever the government says. If the government wants to get into a one world global order, new world order, well, so what? Can't do anything about it. You don't have anything to protect yourself, defend yourself. They have no savings, have no ability to move away or move with your feet. Now we have the ability to move with our money. We can remove ourselves from the dollar system, from the fiat system, and say, no longer, I'm in Bitcoin. This is hilarious. This is clown world. They are actively trying to crush things. If they wanted to actually soak up the inflation, there's things they could slightly do. You're still going to have to deal with ramifications, but they could increase the reserve requirements at banks. It would start sucking up currency into the banks, and they could hold on their balance sheets, whatever, and take it out of the system. Instead, they're crushing demand. They're doing demand destruction, crushing the job market, and trying to crush it even more. And then we have Paul over here with all these fake stats about housing, or about employment, saying, oh, look, employment's great. Employment's wonderful. When it's really not, when you look under the hood. And yet they're just going to keep doubling down. We're going to keep doing some more rate raises. We're going to get up to 5.5%. The steepest curves, as my kids scream in the back, because that's how ticked off they are about the NPCs and the governments and the people running this world and what's going on. So we have the answer. We have the answer. It's Bitcoin. It is the deflationary asset, the finite asset that no one can control, no one can censor, no one can take it from you. And it grows in purchasing power over time, and your life gets cheaper over time. Period. End of story. There is no arguing about it. It's completely proven itself over and over, time and time again. It's been attacked every single day, thousands of times a day. It's constantly being attacked. When the fiat system, when they have to come out and tell you, well, we're the people to trust. Augustus Carson's coming out, the Bank of International Settlements telling me, we're the people you can trust. Our CBDCs and fiat. No, that means that's the simulation winking at you. You can't be trusted, and you're going to screw us over again and again and again. That's Chrystia Freeland and Justin Trudeau coming out this week and saying, well, our measures, our government inquiry into if our reaction was justified is justified. Well, of course it is. Absolutely. What else are they going to say? That's the game that's being played on all of us. They don't want you. They don't want you intelligent with money. They don't want you knowing this. This is exactly why John Rockefeller created the General Education Board. I want workers, not thinkers. That's it. That's why you're not taught any of this in school, because they don't want you free. They don't want you sovereign. They don't want you to be able to think on your own. They want serfs. They want servants. That is the essence of government. Our founding fathers knew that. This is all of human history, and only America was different because of those founding documents. That's it. And the fact that so little people still know that to this day is the reason we keep fighting with tyranny, keep fighting with oppressive governments, censorship, onerous taxes, theft of our wealth, our property taxes, etc., and on and on and on. That's it. Period. End of story. It's inarguable at this point. If they wanted to do something and fix what was going on, they would have done it. The only logical conclusion over the last 100 years is that they don't want to fix the monetary system. They don't want to fix education. It's only gotten worse. The value of the dollar has only gone down. The value of an education has only gone down. America used to be at the top of all the statistical categories in the 20th century, and now you can't even find America in all the educational statistics. It's because they don't want it fixed. They want to crush us. If you look at the World Economic Forum, Club of Rome, the Malthusians, all these people, if you go look at all their stuff, I implore you, trust but verify. Go do your own homework. They literally talk about this and have been writing about it and doing videos and documentaries on this for decades, that they want to destroy the West. They want to destroy individualism. They want to destroy freedom. The governments and the central banks are in bed with each other, central banks, and then they've got the companies in bed, the public-private partnerships you hear Klaus talk about, and they want to destroy all of it to control you. But the beautiful part is, with great chaos comes great order. We have Bitcoin. We have the ability to defend ourselves, to buy firearms, to buy food storage, water, and to make ourselves sovereign. And the more people that do that, the less power government has. And the more people are able to stand up and say, no, 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 government, you work at the consent of us. Sit your butt down. Period. I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. I could rant on and on about this for hours. Please let me know your comments, your thoughts as to what you think about with the rates here and what's going on. I honestly didn't talk too much about the rates, so I apologize about that. That's my bad. But it's going to cause more demand destruction. We talked about it a bit. Obviously, they're committed to more rate hikes, and aw shucks, we need to destroy the demand even more because the employment's great and inflation's still hot. Well, guess what? They're going to raise it. It's going to be a 3-4% minimum inflation target. They're already doing it around the world. It's going to happen in the central banks here, and they're going to normalize 4% of stealing your assets and your wealth and your property every single year. It's like coming and stealing the stuff, 4% of your assets or the things in your home each year. And people just accept it, thinking the government is what creates money. So I guess it's theirs. I guess they can have more of it when it's yours. It's your property. It's your wealth. They're just stealing it from you. It's legalized theft. And we let this happen. I appreciate you, your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. Time is energy, and time is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is time. Make the finite trade with each other. Make the perfect trade with each other. It's the only two finite things I know of. So how can you trade anything else for your time? I appreciate it. Coming to my TED Talk. Please share it, because the algorithm hates truth. The algorithm hates questioning. The algorithm hates honesty. So please share this far and wide so we can build a community of people together, because that is the number one thing that's going to get us through the times ahead. Because boy, oh boy, we will get through them, and we will be thriving on the backside. I can guarantee you that. If there's one thing I can guarantee you, I can guarantee you, as the Navy SEALs say, you can only kill a man in two ways, or you can only defeat a man in two ways. You can kill him, or he quits. And I can assure you, I ain't quitting. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.